Alrighty. Howdy Neighbors and welcome back. It gets so lonely here. Last time, we were in the rose garden, and you can guess what happened there. Anyway, let's continue. If you recall, you will lay down in your own bed. What cruelties you were subjected to by your classmates at the conservatoire no longer matter. Your attendance is focused, not upon yourself. Oh, fuck, but upon the princess. More time you spend with her. Come to care for her. Become quite softened with her. You yet to realize it. Oh, I never. We're ignorant of what will be our own feelings. It does not half as ignorant as you are, though. I have spent her whole life with the palace walls. The word of her own feelings are not unknown to her, and when this stormy night, she chooses to make them known to you. There was this chambers later. Perhaps then you ought to be. Rather than it, it's strictly appropriate. Side. There's a little safer light of the moon, alleviated. That of the fire which crackles like the grate. You just finished stoking that very fire. Now you rise. With the princess fiddling in her bed. You bid her good night. You have someone in Ned's bath. The neat curtsy you turn to leave, the princess's plaintive voice gives you pause. My dear one, do not go, not just yet. Let you pause and look back at the princess. She's smiling, her expression is unusually wan. She's right. Oh, I shall be fine. It's just days like these, you know, which make me feel a little out of sorts. And what, you ask, if you wear that? It is very cold and very dark. Very windy besides. I'm afraid there'll be a storm later. Awfully cloudy earlier. Prepare for a walk. There's no mistake about that. The sky. Compare of you. Promenading the gardens earlier. Spray and steely. The wind bitingly cold. To the wind rattling mournfully against the panes of the princess's bedchamber. This castle of stone is well fortified. And with the fire, it is rather cold. I don't like to think how chilly by comparison it'll be in your humble bedchamber, which is not fortunate enough to have its own fireplace. I thought it did. Did I not see that? So childish. That's what I'm fond of. I always find it hard to sleep. Stormy nights. I feel uncomfortable. With the person with those multiple sympathy. When you lie in her bright red dress, she looks oddly, commonly vulnerable. You're right like this, alone in her oversized bed. In a holy ceiling bedchamber. I'm silly of you. But to place such a query. I should not be alright. There's no one in the castle to hurt her. But still, you fight out for her. As her lady's maid, it is your job to fret for her. You want your mistress to feel unhappy. Which is what she would have you do. And that breaks up. And with the breaks up this, please perhaps, you're taking the initiative. You like to take too much of your time. But it's not very late. You're sitting with me a while longer and reading to me. Provided that you can, of course. No question. Your pride whistles regardless. Easily, you reassure the princess that yes, of course you could read. We're student in many aspects of the conservatoire. We do have something of a gift when it came to the library or literary arts. Reading books is all you've ever been any good at. And I think you should have known. You're so incredible. There's one if there's anything you can't do. It's my brains make you flush. I really look away. Able to read, reassure her. It's not such a great feat. Perhaps it isn't. Very here from, but it is here. Very few of my old servants could read. They certainly can read the books that I like. What's your interest? I treat you as the book books exactly she likes. I do ask, what are fairy tales you see? Most of centuries past. I have a collection of them here. This is indicating the book on her bedside table. It is a mortuary slab. Although, bodies are weak, the page is brittle. Writing is a little old-fashioned. interested in past servants with the book, but I think you would do a good job breathing life into these old stories. You're going to read it to me for a brief while. Please do one, oh please. The request seemed like simple one expressed sweetly. Or so they have no reason to refuse her. Please sleep beside the princess upon a luxurious bed. 6 feet their weight. Then you retrieve the leather-bound book which is resting upon her bedside table and spread it open. Pages of the book are very brittle, the princess said. Binding the book out loose. You'd feel it. And the book's manifold pages. The weight of the ages concealed within it. How old is this book? The castle in which it resides. With a quiet voice, hesitant at first, that she began to read to the princess. Tale of courtly love, which culminates in a lavish wedding ceremony. All the while, as you read, Princess listens to you, enraptured. So it seems, upon every word. This reached the final phrase, embossed upon the page, home, and they lived happily ever after. Princess sighs as though the tale has touched her very soul. Would that there was a handsome prince to marry me, says somberly, but he had a beautiful princess. At this point, I think I might have to settle for a lowly scullery maid. Why should the idle remark mumble softly? This would not be proper. Her side is still squalling. You have never been one to raise your voice. Whisper to her, but you do not expect. Therefore, the princess will overhear you. She does. Leaves you, resting upon her pillows, and says, "Don't be the problem that has been made. Should my happiness come with silly ideas of propriety?" Of course, you reply. If a princess to marry a scullery maid, hung upon that, it's haters. Think. Repeat that to a sheet. I'm talking to myself. I knew that would happen. I know priest around who would officiate it. I think there are greater issues with the princess' plan than lack of a priest. She does present a good point. That was an empty one. The princess would find somebody that she loves. Be nobody to make the wedding official. No one would feel. I can avoid a great deal of nuance. Same token, you do not feel a touch disappointed. Never mind. It was a nice story. What's this? I'm not sleepy yet. It's still on your side. Retrieve me another one. I don't mind to reply, but it's getting late. You better to your own chamber. I know, but you find it hard to read one story to me. Just one. Which is a short one. I won't complain. I have some doubts about that. But, as before, you cannot resist the princess's demands. But not you think because she's a princess. That is it. Of course, part of it. She's, well, radiant. But not you think. I have to turn to the next story for counted in this age. Compendium would upset her. Get on your own tongue. Look the story of the princess, which is similar to the last, plus the full adventures and mating. The close. At the close and happy marriage. The last princess moves to the tale you've read prior. Thanks for another. Vision story becomes 5. And then the candles which flicker at the bedside are burning out. Not satisfied. A grasping needy child. She has never heard moderation. She must think she seeks to blood herself with it. Her only request, that of more. If she were less comely, perhaps her inability to adhere to the word no would be seen as character defect. Very comely, however. And so, she makes her next request, most very offhand, considering the ramifications. I think I'll go to sleep now. The storm is still raging. I'm only on my own in this big empty bed, so I know eyes light up with the night sky, a thunderstorm. You sleep with me. With the princess, your eyes wide as goose eggs. When you blink, slowly, I turn to repeat herself. Did you hear me? It's the giggles. You're so busy cleaning up after me, you neglected to clean out your own ears. I said, dear one, would you like to sleep with me? But that is a question she really wanted to ask. Nothing enough to answer. She'd like to sleep with her. Be an honor. It'd truly be alright for you to accept such an invitation. It would be a gross breach of protocol, surely. A lowly domestic such as yourself to share bed with the princess. Upon this, Mrs. bedside fretting. She observes with wide, researching eyes, waiting. What was the matter, dear one? Why do you tarry so? Could it be? Does lower lips tremble? You were to live with me after all? It was in the princess's voice, in her face. You feel awfully guilty. Really console her. Although with no uncertain terms, she wishes to partake in your company you have no quarrels with. You too. Well then, stand there dilly-dallying, silly, with me. Come and join me, come. What would you do? After returning briefly to your own chamber, to your nightgown. Stress you waste no time returning to your victorious princess's side. You are laying in her four-post bed. When you return, your night earned gone away like some wicked dragon. Unable to she sees you. Your haste change. You had to mash the buttons. She was you to come closer. Let me fix that for you, silly. Oh no, you say I could possibly let you do that. I'm not a servant after all. It'll not be your job to dress her. Maybe so. Princess says, but I don't mind a bit of role reversal. This is more fun. You more refutes, but in vain. Princess, similarly, squares all of them. Quite at the princess's mercy. She might have been more simple than you are. You capitulate your demands. It was fun for every night dress. You've done them. If the plain gown is run shut. I was fine with her handiwork. With very elegant hands. Just draws back and pats the mattress beside her. Come in. It's a bit cold out there, but these sheets are warm. Quietly, with smiles. So am I. Over herself, she slid into the bed beside the princess. With the red gown the princess so often wears. Come out of the roses of the castle grounds. All the while her heart's fluttering. Does this know what effect she's having on you? At least she must. But anyone who's so blind. There, flames. Your body's lying beside her. That's much better. Feel cozy now, dear one. Swallow in a shaky voice to reassure her. It's very cozy, but cozy indeed. You're good. The storm will be raging outside. But I can't get it here. I know with you with me I'll be safe. Strange, but reaches out. Takes your hand in hers. Twine the fingers together like a chain. I'm with you. Bring light. Nothing in the world could hurt me. Make me feel safe. And I'm gonna make you feel safe too. Take very, very good care of you, I promise. You're as well with one of your own. Very thoughtfulness. Even a promise does make you wonder. Should it not be your job to look after her as a domestic? No way, Mr. replies after a pause. But I've been taking good care of me already. And now, I need to return the favor. With the princess I'm supposed to look after my vessels. All part of the job description. But unaware that being a princess came with the job description. The profession it came with far fewer written responsibilities, far fewer forms assigned than they becoming a doctor, astrophysicist, and mathematics professor. The princess, playfully, she laughs. This is a funny thing, dear one. That you must be tired. Your head, you're working so hard. I think you deserve it. Yes, you think only half conscious. You deserve it too. You've been working hard. A long time. I've been running even longer. Now, at long last, you believe you can let your fears go. It's from the truth. Your body, that is a large word. I can't even begin. A laugard? A lizard? I really don't know. By sudden, all-consuming fatigue. And in a quite understated sort of way, your consciousness is conveyed to the kingdom. It was the deep one, but the storm which raises outdoors, and this is where shit hits the fan. The wind is howling, like the wildcats, both locked and vicious and bloodthirsty about the death. You don't hear it. It looks like it's about you. It's the person's presence. You're immune to all else in the world. But the princess you feel safe, secure in. Yes, you even feel loved. Ah, just wait. Wait then. Feelings do not last very long. Not so. There's something wrong. There's perfectly so. I want to open your eyes. Your thoughts are hopelessly jumbled. Certain that, when you fall asleep, there's in a bed. One bed, no less, beneath soft, comfortable sheets. I'm not laying in bed right now, though. Not vacuuming at all. Jesus fucking Christ. Can I? I think I found the other maids. I'm standing instead against a cold, hard wall made of stone. Rear back to press the wall. Intimately. It feels icy, chill seeping into the fabric of your nightgown. Feet which are bare. Smoothly pressed against cold and feeling stone. So frigid I cannot tremble. So much. My teeth chattering together. Sounds like castanets. It moves gently as it echoes through your cell. But that is indeed where you are. This bedchamber. When you fall asleep, is a thing now of the past. Standing instead, you realize. Sharp start. In a cell. Some great underground dungeon. You swallow when you do see something bitter on your tongue. Stomach is beginning to churn with anxiety. You feel like you're going to be sick. Something which wells inside of you. Second degree. It's a noise of stench. Or not. You realize the only thing in the dungeon. Others here. They're tired of simple black and white outfits as servants. Look much like the dress that he once wore. The others are with you, however, expensive though. On the gold wall. It's fate to speak to you. Or to tell you about their plights. They're all feeling. Oh, they're all feeling, and seeing and breathing. They're all dead. No trusty servants. Check their pulses. Be yourself restrained. Maybe you could, given a point. And no human could survive the wounds which have been inflicted upon these sad bodies. Over there, you see a woman slumped in front of her once white apron stained in blackish blood, a gaping wound in her stomach. One through which her entrails have half escaped. And some sort of it might once been pale pink. And some said the person is similar stature. She's skinnier. Maybe not a woman at all. Adolescent like yourself. She might even be younger. Age or lack thereof does not preclude or attack her from inflicting upon her horrors. Alas, her body is even more mutilated than first. Her body is peppered, maybe more mills. Her face has been half smashed in. The one eye remains, and fixed at the wall opposite her. The wound remains, what was once her skull. Over there you see a woman is missing both of her arms and lower jaw. Over there you see another is missing her entire lower half. Blood's gone. No idea. There's no flesh upon this body is ghastly. But their advanced decay is enough to turn her stomach. Oh, how long these carcasses have been laying down here. They've begun to putrefy. Fear similar fate might befall you. Just stay here. trying to escape. You struggled against the walls which bind you, but alas, no use. You cannot free yourself from these walls. They're much too strong, and you are much too weak. Rivers up your throat, cold and icy. It sees your heart. It's too glacial. That escapes the possible, but you still squirm and writhe like a rat caught in a firestorm. A little point, however, to your struggles. You did nothing. You should prepare yourself. Save making the steel mandibles dig into your used wrists, sharply than ever. Gasp. That hurts. Well, I don't know that would not work. The very definition of insanity is, performing said action over and over again hope for a different result. In essence, most people could argue optimism is very different from insanity. But that is an interesting point to consider, would you not agree? No, evidently not. You're trying to escape, you foolish girl. If that will do any good. Clangorious rattling of your silly restraints. Really starting to get on my nerves. Big enough noise to raise the dead down there. And you're dark. Dingy? I always read dingy. You so. My screams are hardly helping the matters. I wish that you would cease that infernal racket. But I know you will not. Nothing you say could ever get through to you. Not that you've ever listened to me in the first place. If you would listen to her, though. You should know your kind, considerate mistress. Now, what's this way? I've said the castle's cold, hospitable dungeon to see you. Is that not kind of her? Oh, dear one, says Trills, entering the dungeon. A series of light, lit-winged steps. I think you finally walk in. How are you? Not the infernal racket you're making. It seems like you have no shortage of energy. Hopefully, turn your head. But amid the eyes of the princess, sitting but a few paces away, beneath the fully hewn stone arch that bids one entry, rarely ever an exit, the dungeons. It was a dull and drab, but the princess is wearing her favorite dress, so bright and brilliant that for a few moments it hurts you to look at her. Once the princess' outfit, like a romance, makes you think of violence. You must forgive me for leaving you down here for so long. That was unfair of me. I'd been waiting here with you by your side till you woke, but again the princess giggles, a light, airy giggle, which did not at all suit the situation in which you found yourself. But it is not a fit place after all for a princess. It's horribly cold here. There's nothing nice to talk to in my head. I could have brought my pillows down from my bed, and I suppose my blankets. But then they would have gotten dirty, and it would be a disaster. I need to be more careful. I won't have anybody left to clean up my messes soon. Not when I've dispatched of you. Again, laughs. The laughter is light and lilting, sorry. Like a shimmering of silvery bell, or not alleviate your concern. If anything, it makes you feel even more alarmed. What did she say she meant to dispatch of you? Yeah, that's right. You'd not tell. You must have figured that out already after working for Duchess Tilly. With my princess takes another step toward you. Would that you come. You would cringe away from her. You cannot. You are powerless. It reaches. I would have placed a hand upon his cheek. It is very white. My touch is cool. And less so should enter the dungeon. Your body's aching. Your touch is gentle. And you find yourself leaning into it subconsciously. I wish she was holding you. She keep touching you. Treating her kindness as you can. Without the princess, the caresses are tender. Circumstances are rather undermine them. Would you relax like this? You're such a good girl, the princess says. In a cajoling sort of voice, as one might just the cat. It was so lovely to me. We've been together. I really couldn't ask for a better servant. I was often spoiled. Why then, ask her, is she doing this? Improbable those sounds. Probable woofs. She must be the one who chained you here. There's no one with the castle who could have committed such a feat. No one else is dead. It's so sweet of you. You orchestrated all of this naturally. Naturally, she says. The betrayal's a matter of course. Naturally. All you ask is so natural of her. What should we do with you? I'm only what I've done with the servants. I have experience with this sort of thing, so please don't worry. I'll take good care of you. When I take good care of it, she means, actually, I'll kill you. Again, that word. Seems grossly inappropriate given all that transpired. Naturally. Nothing natural about this. I don't think so. Look, Nancy, her expression ponderous. But to me, even if it isn't natural to other people, it just feels right. Getting her service and attention and letting them die. Exactly. A bit more to that, though. Of course there is. I like you, dear one. It's this, a voice that sounds uncommonly serious. You have been good to me, like I said, and kind. For that, I will be entirely appreciative. It's so good to me, in fact. Simply being with you is not enough, not anymore. It is no longer content me. I'm a pretty selfish girl, you see. Smile widens. Something sinister. Eyes flashing into fiendish? Forever. You've never witnessed. You would have been beside me. Oh, she eating them? Those things your German captive could have said. But that. It says perhaps to see your fusion. The giggle. Feel even lighter than there's so many words. A word is airy. It's just inoffensive. You don't understand, dear one. But you weren't the only one. My last lady's maid said that too. And the princess dies. I don't even think that's a word. I've seen it multiple times. I don't think that's... Let me sigh. She look even younger. In a handful of years, she truly possesses. For that, that you at least would be able to appreciate my point of view. Perhaps not. I think it should be complicated to grasp, really. Maybe my way of looking at the world is a little bit unique. Winners used to always say, at least. You still have us speak, of course. The princess. Where else is there for you to look, really? Her eyes are fixed to her face. Still smiling. Sinister about a smile. Or perhaps in your anxious state you're only imagining that there's something sinister about the smile. It's easy to see things which do not really exist in your surroundings. Or just soon as shadows. In actuality, however, the princess does not look any different than how she normally does. Neither is she acting any different how she normally acts. Not changed. It is only your perspective of her that has changed. Tremendously. Tremendously. Oh my god. If the princess what she means. The princess is only too happy to answer. Really, like I said. I'm wondering, weren't you? Weren't there any guards or any servants at the castle when you first arrived? And of course, one, yes. If the princess said the minister sent them away, though. Not a lie. You're the big one that you know. I'd be afraid of me. If you knew what actually happened. I didn't want that. I want you to stay with me. You're sending me away. Because I don't have any ministers. I dispatched them too. Did you know? Of course you ought not be surprised. They'll shut it regardless. This weren't very much fun, I'm afraid. A lot of ideas of what I should and shouldn't do after my parents died. Seriously, you are the wide like black holes. Empty, yawning abysses. So I killed them. My servants too. I did a more thorough job with them than I did my ministers. I didn't give my ministers to see. Well, fussy old men. I did love my servants. I love my latest maids, my undermaids, and my scolding maids. My housekeeper and my cooks. My large retinue retainers. Like my family. They raised me in my parents' absence, and I adored them. They're very dear to me. But I had no real choice. I had to eat them. Never love somebody so much you just have to cannibalize. If you answered yes, please check yourself in immediately. Does that follow? But logically, no. I was a princess, you was trembling. To eat the people that you love. The poor way to repay them for the kindness. Well, why wouldn't you eat the people that you love? I don't think there's a greater way of showcasing one's gratitude. Unless you have any better ideas. I get the princess to shut the tables on you, quite like this, dumbfounded you stare at her. The first is little, you learn about yourself. It's hard for you to form a convincing rebuttal. Most of you took in arguments. The rest of the 80 people is very nice. Neither is strictly illegal. But always show your gratitude to your servants, be with increased wages or increased holidays. You listen to your arguments, professional, astute. And a student with ways of taking notes. In a very important lecture. You finish, however. Concentration fails her. Quick to shake. No remorse for what she's done. She's laughing. Oh dear one, that's very funny. But why should I care? It was the law. I'm the princess. And I'll be the queen. I am the law. It's a good point. For people not turners such as the answer. No subjects. I'm no fool, you know. No matter how I may act. I know what happens beyond the castle's walls. I know about the plague. Once I might have a puppet that's governed, but they're all gone now. A princess to nothing but name alone. A monarch without any subjects. Would you think that's sad? I know I do. So woefully lonely. So lonely. The way she's systematically slaughtering all of her domestics. That makes little sense. Perhaps not to you. And the princess caresses your cheek. I shouldn't judge you too harshly. How should I like you, dear one? You are a commoner. Perhaps you can't understand the intricacies of her thoughts. Really, you doubt that anybody would be able to understand the intricacies of the princess's thought process. Because it's unreasonable. I'll say that though. I do ask you the only question I do need to ask. The warrior's throat, sore from shouting. Why? Why, you ask? Mrs. blinks. I don't want you to leave me, of course. I would leave sooner or later. If they have plagued their pleasure, their allegiance to me or not. That is simply the way of the world. People are fickle and inconsistent. Even to me, a monarch. That's why I decided to eat my servants. I had no choice, you see. The only way to ensure that they would never leave me. Think about it. I should be grateful that I could demean myself so, consume their flesh and blood. I am a magnanimous ruler, see. I treat all of my subjects equally. I love every single one of you. And naturally, I love you too. You have been awfully nice to me. You're very pretty alongside it. If you were a plain ugly girl, perhaps I would not shower you with affection. What are the test of this? But you've captured my heart. I think you're lovely. I bestow upon you the highest honor I can conceive of. When your body mixes with mine, we stay together forever and ever. Visibly and thin, you have soft silken hair brushing against your cheek. Feel too the warmth of her breath as it goes against your skin. But in the dungeon, the princess's close proximity is there, perverse as may sound, we have comfort. Her eyes are wide and her lips are so red. While meanwhile is so sweet. I've been doing my best to fulfill the role. Fate has dictated for me, but really, the exhales, her eyes, pouring into yours, like two dark horns. Finally, you see, a woman like of light, like of anything. The princess's gaze, some degree of humanity. He's lonely here. He's so lonely here. Brief look of understanding, just between the pair of you. It soon cut short. It drops her head. Her lips. Which are red as petals, the carnivorous flower. The breath against her neck. It's warm and icy. The icy chill of the dungeons. You shudder from it. Moments. This overture of the princess could be romantic in a way. But this too goes to swift and merciless close. The sound effects. The mouth is on your neck. Yet the sharp like needles are in your flesh. And straining your blood. There's something on in great greedy gobbets. Every animal cannot comprehend the harm it's causing. And the princess flows from you. Arms twin around your waist. And you cannot hate her. Far too unworldly. She hears the consciousness begins to fade. The princess being it here, she spoke of her love for the past servants. The way the princess expresses her great love for hers. Love is so abundant, it borders upon monstrous. Love you never thought you'd be able to experience. Love of the princess is anything that you have ever known before. It eclipses sanity. It eclipses reason. All notions you might have once had of right and wrong. Princess, as you know full well, I don't care about such concepts. Always possessed of one core, also beneath your weak-willed exterior. The princess is even stubborner than you are. In the face of her love, you met your match. Respect, this really asks for air. But she doesn't give you any quarter. As before, she gives her head. Her lips redder still. Your blood. Let's part your jaw. Her teeth are sharp, possibly inhumanly sharp, glint, weirdly like knives. And she tears at her throat. And the gown was once white. Now it is red. So much blood. Bone and nail, sharper than metal. So potent you taste it on your tongue. But nail, that's proves to be beyond you. But with the twin informations that have ruptured your skin. You attempted breaths. They escape your lips. That sorry wheezes. Your body, meanwhile, blows on fire. But the sorry said indeed. Forgive me if my sympathy is limited. You've been this one yourself, you know. So, for you, you sort of feel like this rest of peace. You try to fight against it. Accepted. But really, being alive in a dark, dingy dungeon. And to rot. That feels like a very satisfying ending to this particular narrative. If you do want it, so be it. Not mind indulging you. I've always done, after all, in the moment we first met. I gave myself tirelessly to answering your wishes. It's no different. So foolish to think, though, you could escape me. I feel life's blood is mingled with that of the princesses. I couldn't relinquish my hold upon you that easily. It's a pledge, after all. To remain by your side. Come what will, fire or flood. I will never leave you. I will be lonely again. I'm actually going to end this episode here. I think we have no other paths except for to go back. I'm going to end it here, and then we'll see how that goes in the end. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I will see you later.